Hey everybody, hopefully you're watching this video on Thursday. Today we're going to be doing 8-7. This is ax squared plus bx plus c. So the difference between how we've learned factoring so far and this method, hopefully you'll see, is the difference is that we have an a out front. So it does make things a little bit more complicated, but we're actually going to use steps that you've already learned. There's going to be a little bit of factoring by grouping coming back, so we'll have to review that a little bit too. But first I want to start with the same thing we did before. I want you to start by seeing this backwards. So we're going to start by using this example. We're going to multiply 2x by x and get 2x squared. We're going to multiply 2x by 1 and get plus 2x. Then we're going to multiply 3 by x and get 3x. And then 3 by 1 and get 3. And we're going to end up with 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Now it's a little bit harder to see this time around because last time we could look at that c term, the 3 here, and say, okay, what factors of that add to the middle term? Here the pattern's a little bit harder to notice. And you may not notice it at all. I'll probably have to give you the answer, but there is a pattern with these 3 numbers. Alright, I'll give it away. The pattern is 2 plus 3 equals 5. So what we're doing this time around is we're actually multiplying a times c, so 3 times 2, and we're looking for factors of that add to 5. So 3 times 2 is 6, so we're looking for factors of 6 that add to 5. So we have 1 and 6, and we have 2 and 3. 1 and 6 adds to 7, 2 and 3 add to 5. That's our answer. So that's kind of how we're going to go about this. Let me give you a real example on the next slide. Alright. We have 7x squared plus 29x plus 4. From here, what we're going to do is multiply 4 times 7, which is 28. And now we're looking for factors of 28 that add to positive 29. Hopefully you can see it right off the bat, but if not, let's list them out. We've got 7 and 4, obviously, we just did that. We've got 14 and 2. And we've got 28 and 1, and I think that's it. So this is going to give us 11, 16, and 29. So as these problems start to get a little bit harder, this one's not really an example of that, but as these start to get really, a little bit harder, I want to see this in your work. I want to see this in your paper. I want to see this on your tests. This shows me that you're actually thinking through the problem. So if you just left this blank in your homework and said, I didn't know how to do it, then I better see a list of every single factor like this right here. If you don't know how to do it, prove it to me by showing me that you've actually tested every single factor of 28. And that way I'll know you at least tried the problem. So in other words, I would make a habit of making those lists. Okay, once we have this, we're going to do this a little bit differently than what we've done before. Now that I've got my 2 factors of 28 and 1, I'm going to split the middle term. 7x squared plus 28x plus 1x plus 4. So we take our 2 factors, 28 and 1, and we split the middle term into those 2 factors. And this is still true. These 2 things are still equal because 29 is equal to 28 plus 1. You could also do 1 plus 28. The order does not matter. Now, everything that you see up here is actually something you've done before. So from here on out, it's factoring by grouping. So now we're just going to split this in half and do a factoring by grouping problem. So out of the first 2 terms, we can take out a 7x, and we're left with x plus 4. I'm going to copy and paste x plus 4. And then what do I need to take out to make that happen? Plus 1. Both of these terms have x plus 4, so we can factor out x plus 4. And we're left with 7x plus 1. That's our final answer. Alright, so let's just list these out so we can keep track. By the time we get to the end of the chapter, I'm going to have a final steps list to go through for any factoring problem. So this is not the final list yet, but this will help us in the meantime as we're in this section. So step 1, we're going to multiply a times c. Step 2, we're going to find factors of that add to b. That word is factors. Find factors of a, c that sum to b. Terribly, terribly written. Then step 3 is factor by grouping. Oh, nope, no it's not. Step 3 is split b into the 2 factors. And then finally step 4 use factoring by grouping. So write that list down. Use this to help you through this section, and I want you to actually try the next one on your own. Okay, go ahead and try this one on your own. Your instructions are to factor. Pause the video now. Now. Okay. We multiply A times C. That's going to give us 30. 6 times 5 is 30. Positive 30. Keep track of the signs here. And we want to find factors of 30 that add to negative 13. So if we try a few of them out, knowing that we're going to get a negative number, we need to try two negative numbers. So if you did positive 2 and negative 15, that's not going to work because we have a positive 30. We need two negative factors. Negative 2 and negative 15 gives us negative 17, so that's not it. If we do negative 30 and negative 1, that gives us negative 31, that's not it. If we do negative 3 and negative 10, that gives us negative 13, that is it. So now we're going to split the middle term into negative 3x minus 10x. This is the only one that works. If you did 15 and 2, again, that does not make positive 30 in multiplication. Now you might have put the 10x first. I put the negative 3x first. It doesn't matter. We should get the same answer either way. As long as we're doing all the steps correctly, you get the same answer, I promise. So we're going to factor out an x. That leaves us with 5x minus 3. Copy and paste, 5x minus 3. Uh-oh, how am I going to get that from up here? Well, the signs need to change, so I know it's going to be negative. And then to get from 5 to 10 and 3 to 6, we're going to need a 2. Now I can factor out 5x minus 3 from both of them. And x minus 2 is what's left over. There's our final answer. If you got that, give yourself a pat on the back. Alright, go ahead and try this one. And I'll give you a hint. There's a first step you need to take that we haven't talked about yet in this video. Pause the video and try it. Pause it. Pause it. Okay, hopefully you realize the first step is to take out a greatest common factor of 5. When we do that, we're left with 2y squared minus 7y plus 6. Now we're looking for factors of 2 times 6 that add to negative 7. So we're looking for factors of 12 that add to negative 7. And those two factors will both have to be negative again because the 7 is negative. So we can try negative 2, negative 6, negative 1, negative 12, negative 3, negative 4. That's going to give us negative 8, negative 13, negative 7. There's the one we want. Alright, from here we're going to split the middle term. Negative 3y, negative 4y. Order does not matter. Keep that 5 on the outside. And now we're going to factor by grouping on the inside. So using copy and paste. Now the sign needs to change. We need to also take out a 2. So now we're ready for our final answer. We're going to have 2y minus 3 and y minus 2 with a 5 on the outside. Now if you forgot to take the 5 out until the end, look at your two binomials. One of them should have a 5 that is able to factor out. Alright, last one. For examples, I want you guys to try this one. Go ahead. Alright, you'll find out here we've got positive 20 and we need to get negative 3, so that means we needed to use just negative factors. So we have negative 20 and negative 1, negative 5, negative 4, negative 2, negative 10. Those are all the factors of 20. That gives us negative 21, negative 9, negative 12. So there's no way we're going to get negative 3. Meaning our answer here is prime, or you could say not factorable. If you're going to say this on your homework, quiz, or test, then I really, really, really want to see this table to show that you've actually tried. Because if you write that and there is an answer, and you don't have any work, I can't really give any partial credit. That's it for your homework. The next video tomorrow, I'm going to go over these problems and then give you a few more to do for the weekend. Goodbye.